choice.
I am so sorry. I was late. I was at the retina specialist getting my first AMD treatment. I was worried that the injection would hurt, but it was much better than I expected.
I'm so glad you're getting your AMD treated. Did you go to the same retina specialist that I see for my diabetic retinopathy?
Yes, and I was already having blurred central vision. And the retina specialist told me that by treating it early, I had a better chance of saving and even improving my vision.
It's important that we see an expert for our retinal conditions. A retina specialist also treated my son when his retina detached several years ago. The surgery saved his sight. When your vision is at risk from retinal disease, you need the expertise of a retina specialist. Retina specialists are highly trained physicians and surgeons who treat retinal conditions in adults and children, as well as severe eye trauma. If you experience blurred central vision, a curtain-like shadow in your vision, floaters, flashing lights, or wavy lines, see a retina specialist as soon as possible.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Presley. My love for animals began when I was 5 years old and found a puppy wandering alone. Growing up in a military family, pets weren't allowed, but I couldn't turn him away, and my family let me adopt him. That moment sparked a lifelong commitment to speak up for animals who can't speak for themselves. 50 plus years ago, Elvis and I supported American Humane Society because animals deserve our voice. And now, more than ever, they still do. American Humane Society saves lives and strengthens the bond between humans and animals. Each year, millions of animals end up in shelters, waiting for someone to give them a second chance. Your compassion can change a life. Please visit AmericanHumane.org to learn more. Thank you.
You're listening to WVGM AM and FM Lynchburg, now powered by ESPN Radio and streaming on the VTRN Sports app.
Hey folks, this is Mark Dalton with Terry Volkswagen Subaru. I would like to say thank you, but more importantly, I would like to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hey there, Ed Lane from the Fast Lane, weekday afternoons 5 to 6 on VTRN Sports Lynchburg 93.3 FM, powered by ESPN Radio. Just want to say thank you for making 2025 our best year ever for listenership on all our Virginia Talk Radio Network platforms.
Hey there, fellow travelers. It's me, the Hotel Whiz. Before you go anywhere, call me day or night for hotel rates too low to publish. I'll save you up to 75% on over 500,000 hotels across the globe. You see, I've already done the research, so you don't have to spend time online trying to find the best deal. That's up to 75% off. Just call me, the Hotel Whiz. It's a free call, and you get instant access to rates too low to publish with no cancellation fees.
Make a free call now and save up to 75% off your hotel rooms the next time you're going somewhere for business or pleasure. Call the Hotel Whiz now and get instant access to rates too low to publish. 800-378-2714. 800-378-2714. 800-378-2714. Call the Hotel Whiz right now for rates too low to publish. 800-378-2714.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yak to, and I just feel like I'll be fine. If someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job, and I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it, and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
The Wrap Up the Year sales event is going on now at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Drive home a new 2025 Ram 1500 and save over $13,000 off MSRP.
Shop Magic City's great selection of Grand Cherokees, now discounted up to $6,300. Don't miss out on the biggest savings of the year. See us today at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1750 Independence Boulevard in Bedford. MagicCityBedford.com. See dealer for details. And 1526.
You're stepping into the fast lane on the VTRN Sports app. 93.3 FM and 1320 AM Lynchburg, or by asking Alexa or Google Home, open VTRN Sports Lynchburg. Now, take the fast lane through the topics that matter across the Commonwealth. This is the Fast Lane with Ed Lane.
We're not going to be playing proper reaction or overreaction with any kind of epic sound effects here in the Fast Lane. Just going to get our usher on right off the bat as we get ready to make a confession and tell you that. It's also worth noting that we will not be playing it because I would like to say that you might call it an overreaction, but I would call it a proper reaction to the news that, and I looked at my weather app, Lynchburg City Schools is closing their schools tomorrow because of projected inclement weather, which features 40, 50, 35, and 30% chances of snow/wintry mix in temperatures that are 32, 33, 34, and 34 degrees, which, based on my rough non-meteorological estimations, would basically be indicating that it's going to snow, maybe sleet, but it's not really going to stick. And when you factor in that today is literally the only day they will have had school in the city schools, to a certain extent, I got it, especially last Friday. And then as the week wore on, Monday and Tuesday in particular, because side streets were a challenge. Wednesday, I would have liked to have seen a 2-hour delay. Today, full go. Again, I know I'm old school in this. I get it. I understand the buses. All it takes is one problem. I get it. But I'm going to speak 1,000% selfishly here in the Fast Lane. It is really hard to be productive at home with 2 7-year-old boys. I love them to death, but my wife generally has to work at her office at Brownstone Properties and does a fantastic job. The best part, by the way, selfishly in the Fast Lane, and I get it, we're way past this sound effect.
Time to take a detour in the Fast Lane.
Because we kind of already did at the top of the show. But I am selfishly glad that all this is happening now, because for years it would happen and it would more disrupt my wife's schedule, but it was a lot more flexible. And maybe she will never admit this to me because, again, I don't ever get that type of satisfaction. You just kind of have to deal with it. But now she's getting to experience why I had this level of, you could call it, I don't like animosity, because I don't hate snow days. I'm trying to appreciate when there's actually snow out. My kids, innocence to it, desire to play out in it, and the fact that, anything I can do to further them wanting to play in something other than a screen, I am going to do my best to support. It doesn't go perfectly, as you've heard. But she's now getting to experience how the entire flow of just trying to be productive at work gets disrupted, and it then creates a backlog of things you have to do once everything is back to normal, and it makes it even more stressful. Now she gets to experience it. So yes, selfishly, again, to get my usher on, I'm glad now that it looked like I was a crazy psycho for a while, and now it's oh, this makes sense how my spouse was that way. And my wife is fantastic at her job. She is a much better parent than I am in terms of, her empathy and sympathy to our kids. Again, I got a lot more old school, but I am trying to be very empathetic and supportive, especially when they want to play outside, play around the house. But the volume of interruptions, or he touched me, or he didn't want to play with me, or, get down, not to mention we have 4 dogs, 2 cats. Cats get into the Christmas trees. Dogs have to go in and out all the time. When I'm at home dealing with all that, it is a totally different dynamic, and productivity is like driving in New York City traffic. You eventually will get from point A to point B, but a trip that should take 5 minutes, hopping on the smooth expressway to go 5 miles, takes an hour and a half in New York because there's a gazillion stoplights and there are a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing, not to mention crossing the street. That's what it's like as an analogy. Meanwhile,
after Ed's potentially unnecessary detour, let's get back on the road in the Fast Lane.
Let's have a different version of, overreaction or proper reaction? We did 2 TrostLaw.com fast takes earlier today. One was on Liberty Flames basketball last night. Proper reaction. NC State exposed the Liberty Flames for not having enough depth and size inside. I think that's reasonable. NC State took it to the rim when they started to go on that run, which basically turned into the entire game of beating Liberty by 35, 40 points. I should probably refresh where the final score was. It was 40 exactly, 85-45. It was never really in doubt after the under 16 timeout when NC State just really took off and went away from Liberty. Largest lead was 42. Biggest scoring run for NC State was a 12-0 run, but they dominated every statistical category, including a 45-19 lead at halftime. And by the way, continuing to outscore Liberty in the second half. It exposed where the Flames are. You got a 4-guard lineup with a stretch 4 and Zach Cleveland. When you're going up against a long athletic team, that's the case. Now, overreaction. This is going to doom the Liberty Flames. Let's not remember that, or let's not forget this. If you think this is permanently going to doom the Liberty Flames, I'll quote my friend Bill Lumberg from Office Space.
Ooh, yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Because the reality is, I think this is more of an indication that a school like Liberty could defeat a school like Georgia Tech or Boston College in the ACC. I think a school like JMU, when they've been firing, could beat that type of a program. Your lower dregs of your power conferences. DePaul, back when they were a real mess in the Big East, would come to mind as an example. But I think this does indicate what we saw last year with no Cinderellas making the Sweet 16, much less obviously the Elite Eight Final Four or National Championship, where it was all 1 seeds in the Final Four last year. I genuinely do believe that is a trend that is going to uphold, and what we saw verifies it. Liberty can hang with lower level power conference teams, but it's harder to hang with the higher level teams because if you recruited those type of players, now all of a sudden they're just going to get balled up by bigger programs. And the whole, well, if Liberty had longer or taller guards, let's go back to the reality again. If Colin Porter, Caden Matheny, and, in particular, but you could put Brent Decker Jr. in there as well, but Colin Porter and Caden Matheny, if they were 6'1", they would not be at Liberty. Somebody would throw generational wealth at them in a way where it would be really hard to deny that, because these guys may make it in the pros in Europe, but they're unlikely, even at that size, based on their skill set, to become NBA players. It's really hard. I get people think that with Porter and Matheny, but the reality is it's not nearly as easy. So that's the overreaction. Proper reaction for the Liberty Flames and where they are. This is a situation which exposes that it will be an uphill battle if Liberty makes the NCAA tournament. I think we've got enough evidence now. Liberty's 3 biggest power conference opponents in each of the last 3 years. Alabama 23 season, 23-24. Last year, Oregon 24-25. And then this season, NC State 25-26. None of those games have been particularly close, and none of them were particularly close at halftime. Again, I think it goes to the direction of college basketball and college sports at the revenue generating level as a whole. But that is the reality. So that's a proper reaction. It doesn't mean Liberty cannot, but they're going to have a better night shooting than what we saw against Oregon when they made 0 of their first 15 points from three-pointer. So that's a proper reaction. Last night, 6 of 28 from three-point range. I get they're undersized, but you've got to get it off quick, and you've got to shoot with confidence. And when it looked like it didn't go down early, the confidence does wane with Liberty. I think that's a proper reaction when they don't have their confidence early against these bigger name programs. Now, overreaction. It's going to doom Liberty's season. No, it's not. They're not going to see stuff like this in the regular season. They will not see in Alabama of 2 years ago, Oregon of the NCAA tournament last year, or NC State in the Conference USA slate. They'll see programs that have bits and pieces from that type of talent, but they're not going to see a program that has all of that. So proper reaction, overreaction. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, pivoting from that over to Liberty Flames football. Proper reaction. It's going to be an uphill battle to rebuild the Liberty offensive weapons. They lost wide receiver Dante Lee to the portal, running backs Vaughn Blue, and the more notable one, Evan Dickens. They have not all officially entered the portal, but, and we'll get to this in a moment, their representation and agency has indicated that they intend to enter the transfer portal. Code for their representation has been vouching for what they could get on the open market, relaying it back. Let's just play hypothetical here. If you were Duke University and you wanted to add Raleigh area native Dante Lee from Shaw University, what might you be willing to pay for him? Okay. Then they go back to Dante Lee. Hey, Dante, if you were to somehow enter the transfer portal, there's a good chance you might be able to fetch X amount of dollars. Kind of like the NFL. When free agency begins and at 12:02 p.m., all of a sudden, a big name player is signing a big time contract. Do you think they just agreed to it, life-altering money, or do you think this was all in the works? I'm going to go with option B. As the Three Stooges would like to remind us, of course, as they always are very gifted at doing, when you look at these type of situations.
Are you that dumb?
No, we are not. We know how this game works. Proper reaction. It's going to be tough to replace that production. Overreaction. It's an indicator that Jamie Chadwell has got to go at Liberty. Really? You're going to use that as your indicator that Jamie Chadwell has to go? Newsflash. This is happening to all of the Group of 5 programs. If you have highly productive players, they are being scouted and developed. They're being scouted by the bigger name programs for poaching them off of a roster. And when these players have representation, you're not going directly to the player to tamper with it. You're having, quote unquote, hypothetical conversations with representation. That is where you're going to get these type of situations. Proper reaction. Liberty's going to have an uphill battle to replace their offensive skill players, and maybe more. That's reasonable, including the defensive ones they lost in that second portal window, like TJ Bush and Jay Hardy, because Liberty never really got to replace them last year. They now have to find a way to do that this offseason. Overreaction. This is why you need to get rid of Jamie Chadwell. As Amy Trask, a friend of ours in the fast lane, likes to remind us.
And do what?
And do what? Or to be more specific.
And do what? If you're going to terminate a coach, you better be able to answer and do what? And the answer that you have needs to be at least as good as the status quo, if not better. Otherwise, what the heck are you doing?
I mean, are you going to be able to bring in a coach that's going to be able to fundraise better? Are you going to be able to bring in a coach that's going to get you more resources, therefore you can have a better roster? Because if that's the case, you can. And this is not to say Jamie Chadwell is not on the hot seat. Liberty has more resources relative to Conference USA by a lot, and relative to the majority of Group of 5 programs. If they don't win next year, I think we all have an idea of how this is probably going to end. But the idea that that's why you get rid of Chadwell now, that's where I will brush back. Meanwhile, when we return in the fast lane, John Manson from AseaofRed.com. He'll join us for our version of proper reaction or overreaction on the Liberty Flames from their loss at NC State last night to the transfer portal news. That when we return on the VTR and Sports app and ask that smart speaker, open VTR and Sports.
It's the final countdown to savings during the Red Tag year-end sales event at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile. Holiday savings have started, and this is your last chance to save. Shop local and save more with straightforward pricing, plus exceptional service and selection. Stop the search. Head to the Motor Mile for over 900 pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a huge selection of new car brands in Southwest Virginia. Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, Subaru, Kia, Chevrolet, Mitsubishi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. 11 new car brands, 900 used vehicles, all in one location. The Sheeler Motor Mile gives you choices more than any other dealer in the area. Sheeler owns the finance company. We make it easy to buy with in-house financing. Volume selling means volume pricing, and we've got the volume. 11 new car brands, over 900 used vehicles, all in one location. Our biggest sale of the year is here. The Red Tag year-end sales event at the Used Car Superstore on the Sheeler Motor Mile. I-81 exit 118C in Christiansburg. Call 866-SHEELER1. Always open at Sheeler.com. But hurry, this sale ends when the new year begins.
Hi, Danny from Gibbons Books Little Dickens. We believe in reading and play and in shopping locally for stronger communities. 3 times more jobs are created by local businesses versus online sales. This holiday season, live local and shop local for a better Central Virginia.
Hey, this is Jake with Western Ways in Forest. Shop our thousands of pairs of boots in store with personalized customer service and excellent pricing. Shop Western Ways this holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's from our family to yours.
In most things, it's hard to go from ordinary to extraordinary. It's easy with your home or business. Call the Concrete Wizard, and transform your place into an extraordinary space. If you're tired of looking unsightly concrete, then bring light to your old surfaces. Call the Concrete Wizard for free design consultations, free estimates, and fast professional concrete resurfacing. And visit theconcretewizard.com for ideas from other before and after photos.
Hey, this is Jake with Western Ways in Forest. Shop our thousands of pairs of boots in store with personalized customer service and excellent pricing. Shop Western Ways this holiday season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's from our family to yours.
Hi, Danny from Gibbons Books Little Dickens. We believe in reading and play and in shopping locally for stronger communities. 3 times more jobs are created by local businesses versus online sales. This holiday season, live local and shop local for a better Central Virginia.
As the decorations go up and the lights twinkle brightly, we at Brownstone Properties hope this special time is filled with the warmth of family, cherished moments, and heartfelt connections. From our family to yours, may your home be a haven of joy, laughter, and lifelong memories. And let us not forget those who may be in need with our generosity and compassion this holiday season. Happy holidays from all of us at Brownstone Properties, where home is at the heart of everything we do.
Hey, small to medium business owners, if you're frustrated with slow IT support, high costs, or paying for services you just don't use, it's time for a change. Hi, I'm Colt with We Fix Stupid Computers. We provide reliable on-site and remote support tailored for businesses just like yours. And we go beyond just fixing problems. We empower your staff with real tech knowledge so they can work smarter every day. From repairs to training to full IT support, we save you time, stress, and money. Call We Fix Stupid Computers, 434-525-8590, where smart support meets real savings.
The Wrap Up the Year sales event is going on now at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Drive home a new 2025 Ram 1500 and save over $13,000 off MSRP. Shop Magic City's great selection of Grand Cherokees, now discounted up to $6,300. Don't miss out on the biggest savings of the year. See us today at Magic City Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, 1750 Independence Boulevard in Bedford. MagicCityBedford.com. See dealer for details. And 1526.
Hey, gang, this is Bud Foster, former defensive coordinator for the Virginia Tech Hokies. You're listening to The Fast Lane with Ed Lane and Trey Lyle. Join the chat at Trey Lyle VT and Fast Lane Ed Lane on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Proper reaction, overreaction. That's been the theme of us today here in the Fast Lane, and now getting to play along with us from AseaofRed.com, their founder and a man who was down in Raleigh last night for that 85-45 demolition at the hands of NC State to see the Liberty Flames fall to 6-3. John Manson with us here in the Fast Lane. John, a pleasure to be speaking with you. We hope you, in your eyes, survived what you saw last night. I don't know how much you heard of the first segment of proper reaction versus overreaction, but Liberty, proper reaction. The size concerns, particularly inside, were exposed by NC State, but overreaction that it's going to totally derail their season because they're based on whether they make the tournament, and they'll see teams that have pieces of NC State and Conference USA, but they're not going to see a team that complete.
Hey, thanks for having me on as always. And yeah, my eyes, I'm not sure what was worse, the game, the performance by the Flames, or the traffic on I-40 getting into Raleigh during rush hour. It was a rough time, but yeah, I mean, I think, we kind of saw, it was a lot of, reminiscent of the game against Oregon in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year, where, the Flames really had no match for the Ducks back in March and the Wolfpack last night down in Raleigh. Their size, length, athleticism was just too much for Liberty on the perimeter and really throughout the lineup. And that's something we've seen. I mean, you go back to couple years ago, I think it was 2023, the 22-23 season, Liberty had a similar setback by over 40 points to Alabama. And, we've just seen these type of performances by the Flames, getting outmatched, outclassed maybe by some of these, top 25 type teams. And give credit to NC State. I mean, they played well. They've been struggling recently, and obviously Coach Will Wade had them ready to go. But for the Flames, I mean, long season and the long-term impacts throughout the season may have more to do with seeding implications if they were to win the Conference USA tournament. It may be hard to get a 12 seed at this point in time with some of the losses, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's certainly some concerns, and I think more concerning were the losses down in Orlando a couple weeks ago to Towson and Bradley. Those are teams more like what Liberty will face in Conference USA, and those teams also were able to bully the Flames a little bit inside and just took advantage of the mismatch and having a guy like JJ Harper who personally I love watching him play. Just he's all over the floor and was clearly the best player for the Flames on the court last night. But he's undersized, grossly undersized to play the 5 position, 6'5" transfer from the Division II ranks, and unfortunately with Isaiah Enan getting a setback in his recovery timetable and his status unknown moving forward, Harper's going to be asked to do that more and more. While he may not be outmatched like he was last night against NC State in Conference USA, it's still going to be tough calling most nights. But we've seen what this team can do as far as their shooters and their guards. And bottom line is they have to make shots. And they had a season worst offensive performance, and NC State had a lot to do with that. But it's a long season, and I'm sure Coach McKay will have these guys in the thick of things once we get into Conference USA play.
Is it reasonable to say one of the concerns, again, you never know when it'll pop up, but if the three-point shots aren't going, this is a team that historically it seems like they're more of a streaky three-point shooting team, and unfortunately against Alabama, Oregon, and NC State in each of the last 3 seasons respectively, the shots don't go early, and it seems to be an indication that they're not going to be able to get on a hot streak, and you worry Liberty maybe that this could pop up in the Conference USA tournament setting against a team that, obviously is much closer to ending your season goal short of making the tournament.
Yeah, that's certainly a cause for concern. And I think even more than that is just the home away splits. I'm using away in air quotes with neutral sites as well, too. And through the first 9 games, Liberty's shot it really well at home in their 5 games at Liberty Arena. And they shot it really poorly in their 4 games away from home. And you mentioned the Huntsville tournament, Conference USA tournament in Huntsville, Alabama, obviously on a neutral floor. Liberty's going to have to figure that out. And, it's still a small sample size, but it's becoming a larger and larger sample size. The friendly confines of Bel Air, as you like to call it, at LA is, has been kind to the Flames. They haven't lost at home, have sizable margins of victory in each of their wins, but playing away from home hasn't been so kind. So the Flames got to figure it out. They also got to get better on defense. I mean, that's something that's affected them. Each of their losses, their opponents shot over 50% from the field so far this season. And, Coach McKay coming from the Tony Bennett pack line system is not something he likes. And again, that's something that I'm sure they'll work on as you get later into to this season.
It is. It'll be a concern for the Flames and something that they must address, as we already have right now with John Manson from ACFRed.com. John, we've played proper reaction and overreaction. We'll transfer that now to Liberty Flames football. Proper reaction, in our eyes, is it's going to be hard to replace the departures of Evan Dickens at running back, as well as Vaughn Blue and wide receiver Dante Lee, particularly with Dickens and Lee in their productivity. But overreaction is some other coach would have prevented this, when in the reality, it seems like anybody that's productive at the group of 5 is probably going to transfer up to a payday that most group of 5 programs cannot match.
Yeah, I made a joke at the game a couple weeks ago when Evan Dickens broke free for the longest play from scrimmage in Liberty football history, a 97-yard touchdown run, I believe it was, 90-plus yards, I know. And he just was out there running by himself, and I said he should just kept on running straight into the transfer portal because he's going to have a long list of suitors, and certainly he's gone straight into the portal or plans on it when it opens January 2nd. But one thing I think for Liberty, it's something that you have to kind of take a step back, and certainly Liberty wanted to keep Dickens. I mean, top 5 in the nation in rushing, and that's playing in a shortened season because he missed a game and really a game and a half due to concussion earlier in the year, and started the season 3rd on the depth chart. So, he probably had the best last 8 games or so of any running back in the country, and maybe the best 8 game stretch by any Liberty running back ever. Just the way he was, putting up almost 200 yards at will. But take a step back. Like, if you're Liberty coming off a 4-8 season, in spite of Dickens' play, do you want to, empty your cupboard, so to speak, of your revenue sharing NIL money to keep a guy like Dickens? Or is it better to kind of reserve that, trust this coaching staff and this system that's been able to produce a 1,000-yard rusher each of the 3 seasons at Liberty, and even going back in their time previously and most recently at Coastal Carolina, and maybe use those funds on a quarterback or a receiver? I think the loss of Dante Lee is probably harder to overcome for Liberty moving forward than even the play of Dickens and Blue as well too. So I think the loss of the running backs maybe overstated a little bit, but certainly you would rather go into the season with a guy like Blue and a guy like Dickens, knowing what you got rather than trying to figure it out as Liberty did to start 2025. And that like I said, Dickens was third on the depth chart at that point in time before he kind of worked his way up the depth chart.
Yeah, and it's the nature of it. I mean, if you're having success, these other programs are going to be scouting your top players right off the roster, and it's just the reality of this day and age. The reality when it comes to where you can find premier coverage of the Liberty Flames. John Manson from aseaofred.com. He's at JC Manson on Twitter, and they are at, easily enough, A Sea of Red or a C_of Red on Twitter and Instagram, respectively. John, good to be speaking with you. Thank you, as always, for your time today in the Fast Lane, and we'll try to link up at some point next week before the Christmas holiday.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon, Ed.
Indeed. John Manson with us here in the Fast Lane. That does it for us today. We've got Tech Talk Live, then Virginia Tech men's basketball, 6:30. After that, we've got Thursday Night Football featuring, this is great for the young 90s person and me, the visually appealing Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle uniforms against the Atlanta Falcons in their red and black throwbacks from back in the day. Gotta love it, although you don't need to. You can just get the visuals later and listen on the VTRN Sports app.
City